Okay, hello and welcome to the Psychic Side. It's 5 p.m. on the East Coast on Tuesday, and that means it's time for the Psychic Side here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network, Moonstruck TV, and Lightning TV, and a whole bunch of other places. You know, we're the number one psychic radio network on Earth. You know, we're not bragging, it's just a fact. So we just want you to know. But I'm John Cappello, and I'm a psychic medium from Texas, and I'm delighted to have you with us here today. I wanted to start the program off by just telling you a little bit about something I have never mentioned, I don't think, on the program, and that is that I'm a contributing writer to yourtango.com. And, you know, I know a lot of times we do readings about relationships and about, what's going on in people's lives. And yourtango.com is an online magazine, and it's mainly geared toward women. And they have a lot of experts on the site, and you might be able to go there and just scroll down or look for a topic that you might have an interest in, and then of course look for me. I have about 30 articles on there, and I have one coming up. So when it comes up and it's fully edited, I'll let you know when it's going to be released. So if it's just something that I thought you should know. I'm considered your tango expert, and so I wanted to bring some of that knowledge and some of that work to the A1R Psychic Radio Network and bring it to our program. Also, before we get to our first caller, I wanted to let you know another thing that I just felt was exciting. Yesterday, I was informed that both softback copies of my book, Mom, There's an Angel in the Kitchen, and the Audible version of that book were accepted as part of the Gold Award by Mom's Choice and by the Mom's Choice Awards. So I'm really excited about that. I want to thank them publicly for all that they've been doing. If we can get them on the program, I'd like to do that. They said they might come on, but they promote their work over 60 different countries. And so we are a worldwide network. And I just wanted you to know that look for that Mom's Choice label, the Mom's Choice Awards on different products, and not just books, but a lot of different products, and it's really cool. So I'm really happy about that. Also, I have started open enrollment for my Psychic Journeys online classes. If you want to learn about what I do and how I do it, then you can. You can just go to my website and pay for the 6 courses there. There's a detailed description of each of the classes and the start date. So once you've paid, you'll receive an invitation for the first class. It's exciting. You know, my meetup group this month has invited potential students to come on by and let me see what they got, you know, so I'm real excited about that too. Also, I'm not traveling again this weekend. I am going to take another week off, and then I go to East Texas. And the reason why I'm bringing it up now is because the East Texas Psychic Fair is going to be August, what is it, 15? Something like that, 12th or something. And it's going to be in Tyler, Texas. And I'm going to have the owner of the Psychic Fair as my guest next week. So her name is Gail Tracy Mull. And so I'm excited to have her. I'd like to hear what she has to say about her work and her Psychic Fair. Be the first time I'll be there, but so I'm excited about that. So let's go ahead and take our caller. She's in San Antonio. What is her name again? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. Margaret. Okay.
It's Margaret.
Pardon? Can you repeat that?
It's Margaret.
Okay, Margaret. Margaret, have you just recently had a loss in your life? Has there someone passed away?
Yes.
Is this a man?
No, both of my parents passed away.
Was it close together then, or what?
It was my dad first and then my mom, but no, recently it was my mom.
Okay. Well, it just feels like your dad wants to come in first here. And it just seems like he was the kind of man that had a strong. Was he a strong presence in your life?
Yes.
Okay, because it just seems like he had a very there's just a lot of authority around him. Okay, and
Okay.
so that's what I'm picking up. And I don't know. I just feel like he might have been a pretty good protector. Someone that you wouldn't want to contend with if you had to go up against him, because he might have been kind of a tough guy in my view. Uh, but
Yes.
uh, but I feel like he was there to welcome your mother. Do they stay together?
Yes, they were still together when he passed away.
Okay, because it looks like they were, and it looks like I don't know. From my standpoint, it looks like he was pretty devoted to her, and it just feels like your mother. There was just a weakness around her. I don't know. She just seemed so frail there near at the end. So had she been ill a long time, or did she have like a steady decline right before she
She
passed
had
away?
been ill for a long time, for many years, but this past she passed away back in September, so she just started declining like really really fast.
Yeah, yeah. It just kind of accelerates there at the end, but your mother, I don't know. It just seems like your dad and mom kind of really complemented each other, because he was the strong type, and she was the gentle and kind and a real sweet person. And I don't know.
Yes.
She was a classy lady. And
Yes.
so she's really happy that you're here. It just feels like she has a lot of love that she wants to let you know that she has from you and the families. Now, do you have brothers and sisters?
Just brothers.
Just brothers. Okay. Does she have a
Yes.
sister in spirit, or did she leave behind a
Uh,
sister?
yes, her sister had passed away before she did.
Okay, because she must be with her sister as well, because there's something about a sister, and so you have brothers, and
Yes.
so she just says watch out for them, or look out for them, because I guess you're the only girl in the family. Then is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I want you to know that she's here. She just wants to let you know that she's okay. She's finally at rest. It looks like her stomach was bothering her. Did she ever complain about her stomach?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So her stomach is much better now, and she just says that she loves you, and she wants to just ask you to tell the rest of the family how much she loves them as well. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Margaret. I appreciate you calling in and giving me a chance to read for you today. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now we have someone calling in from Louisiana. I believe her name is Precious. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Precious. How are you today?
Fine.
Okay. It just seems like, are you worried about something? Are you worried about, is there a move around you? Are you afraid you're going to have to leave or something like that?
Yeah. I've been kind of worried and in a deep depression the past few weeks.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Are there money worries or job worries around you too? Because it just seems like it just feels like there's a weight on you. It's like something is just kind of weighing you down. And
Yes.
I'm sorry about that. It just seems like you do need a vacation. You need a change of scenery. You need an opportunity to try and get your mind off of things. Maybe go see the Barbie movie or something. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
make light of what's going on. I'm just saying that maybe you need something light
Mhm.
to kind of change the scenery a little bit. Now, are you involved with anyone at the moment?
Yes, I was involved with someone,
And is that
and
not working?
yeah, that's kind of part of it too. I kind of don't even I haven't spoken to him in a while.
Well, it just seems that's another thing that right now I just feel like you need a little bit of girlfriend therapy, and you need some people to be around you that are going to supportive and maybe have you do some playing or do something silly. I just want to try to raise the energy around you and get you to kind of have a different perspective of things. And if you have to make changes in life, you just have to make them. I would hope that you'd be willing to make those changes, even though they might be hard. But if it's going to be better for you in the long run, then those changes may be necessary. So that's kind of what I'm going to leave you with. Unless you have one more question, I would be happy to answer it, because I'd like to get to some of my stuff today if I can. What do you have any other questions?
I just had my main question was that lately I've been going through it with in my relationship. I just wanted to know if the mother of him, is she involved with influencing us to go down the bad path?
Well, I don't feel like his mother is an ally of yours. Okay. I don't want to throw her under the bus, but I think that she's gonna take her son's side no matter what. So I'm not going to tell you that she's saying that she's trying to sabotage you overtly, but you may feel like she is in a passive aggressive way. Okay. But I feel like, if push comes to shove, she's always going to choose her son. I wish she'd be a little bit more supportive of you, but I wouldn't count on it. What is your birth sign?
What is my what?
What's your birth sign, you said?
I'm a Virgo.
You're a Virgo? Okay. Well, this is what Virgo's going through right now. And so I don't know. I can't tell you I'm super positive about your relationship, because it just feels like it's bringing you down and making you depressed. So I think unless something changes, I feel like you need to consider making some changes there. So thank you very much for calling in. I'm sorry to give you that information. I'm not trying to upset you, but I'm just telling you, I feel this pain. I feel this weight on you, and I feel like it's time that you try to move on a little bit. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I try to divide the show up just a little bit about astrology and about mediumship, and we never have a lot of time on the program to delve very deeply in anything, even with the readings. And I always hate to give news that is not encouraging to people, but sometimes if it's there, it's just there. So anything can be turned around, because two people want something good to happen in a relationship. They can make it happen, but it's up to them. So anything that I say that might appear to be negative can be changed. It's energy changes, and it can change at the drop of a hat. But it takes two people to be in accord. And one of the topics that I want to talk about for astrology today, I talked about astrology last week. I talked a little bit, about Venus. Venus is the planet of love. And today I want to talk a little bit about that other planet. Okay, so if you have this is an adult topic, so I want to make sure that you know that. So we're going to talk a little bit about Mars. Mars is that planet that is about energy, action, and desire. It's about the survival instinct, and can be thought of the leftover animal nature of man. So Mars rules those animal aspects of our lives, the aggression, anger, and survival. And the placement of Mars has to do with the energy and action of sex. So it can shed light on your sexuality, your energy, how you are motivated in that way. And so it's something that you should look for in your chart, because it has a lot to do with the sign it's in and the house that it's in as well. And you put that energy, you drop it in a water sign, and you see how it boils, and and you see how it's an earth sign and the earth quakes, and an air sign. Well, air sign, it doesn't stay there that long, but it's okay. So and then a fire sign, you can only imagine. But it is something about you learning how to deal with your own sexuality and the placement, and it's relationships to other planets, especially Venus, because a strong relationship between Mars and Venus, whether it be a square or opposition or even a conjunction, helps with the glue of a relationship. If it's trine, it's okay because you always want those contacts, but it's just a lot easier, maybe easier going. You want a little bit of tension in that relationship, so that it just kind of gets you fired up. So it's that sign that gets you fired up in some ways, and it's that other side of you that you want to keep private. So we won't stay too long on that topic because we're moving to another one today and it's about mediumship. We've been talking a little bit about angels. And so, one other thing about Mars, especially in women, because I know we have more women listening to this program than men, Mars represents the kind of man a woman looks for, okay? It's her image of the masculinity of her partner. And so it's something that you need to be aware of. Once again, that's the kind of man you're looking for. You're looking for that kind of person to be in your life, and that's what gets you motivated. So now we're going to go into mediumship and talk a little bit more about the angels. I was talking about the angel hierarchy, and we started on the bottom order of the angels and the first tier of that bottom order. Well, now it's time to move to the next layer or the next area. And the next area is that of the archangels. And the archangels is the middle tier of that lower order. And it requires a lot more discussion than I'm going to be able to give it, especially today. And we'll talk some more about it over time. But you're mainly looking at the Christian and Jewish traditions of the archangels. And there originally were like 4 archangels, and then it moved to 7. And now as we get more into the modern age and we get into a little more of the secularism, and we are expanding things, now there's up to 15. So we're going to talk a little bit about those. So we may expand 2 or 3 shows just about the archangels. It may be one of the smaller groups, but it's a very, very powerful and influential group, especially when you have the characters that are mentioned in there. So we want to give a good representation of the archangels because they deserve it. And I want you to listen to everybody. I want you to listen to what other people have to say about the archangels, especially the Michael. Everybody seems to want to have Michael in their life, and that's a pretty darn good angel to have in your life. But there are others, and the first 4 archangels that are recognized are Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Uriel. But it's been expanded to Sariel, Raguel, and Reniel. I hope I'm pronouncing those correctly. But these 7 angels, it's interesting. They have 7 counterparts, and if you've heard of the 7 deadly sins, well, the 7 deadly sins just kind of correlate to the 7 primary virtues, and in the old world, the old Christian world, where everything was placed in those terms of spirituality and Christianity, everything had an angel attached to it. And so the 7 fallen angels are gluttony, lust, greed, despair, wrath, sloth, vanity, and pride. And you'll start to notice that in all of the discussions about angels, there is another counterpart. to them, which is a fallen angel. So I'm not saying you have the equal number of angels in heaven as you do in other parts of the spirit world, but there usually are angels that match them. So the lighter the angel, the higher the color of the angel, the higher the representation of that angel. And then you have the opposite angels, which are a muddied version of that color. Okay, and so we'll, like I say, we'll get more into that later on. And you may notice that I haven't mentioned anything about one of the most famous angels of all, and that is Lucifer. So we may have to spend an entire program on Lucifer, and I know it's a controversial subject, but it's one that I think that a lot of people just don't know a lot of the story about Lucifer. And that's what we do here on the Psychic Side. We talk about things that other people don't talk about. You just don't get this stuff on those skeptic shows, So we are trying to get ourselves in a position where we understand each of these angels, especially the four primary ones, and we want to understand them, and we want to be able to ask them to help us and to be part of our lives, if we can. Because it's like I said, in the first tier or lower area of the first order of angels, or lowest order of angels, they appear in 1, 3, 5, 7 or more. It's always an odd number. The archangels don't. They're 1, 2. I don't usually see all 3, but I usually see 1 or 2. They have quite a bit of energy, and so they wouldn't all appear at once. I'm not saying they couldn't, but it's interesting that there are 7. And now it's interesting that even though it's expanded, it's gone to 15. It's not 14 or 16, it's 15. So you just don't hear in angel terms them being expressed with even numbers. You always hear them in odd numbers, Now, even 1111, it's it adds up to what is that, 22, but you'll only see it as 1111. So odd numbers, and it's very, very excuse me, interesting that they would be that way. So we want to talk a little bit about each of these archangels, and the first one I want to talk a little bit about is Gabriel. Okay, and the reason why I want to talk about Gabriel is because he's the communicator. He is the messenger of God. And it's interesting, if you read about Gabriel, you'll see that he's in the body of a man, but he sounds like a woman. And he has some very, very feminine characteristics. So some people are saying that he is the first transgender angel, but of course angels don't really have a sex to them, but they are very much, but it's just unusual because the characteristics of Gabriel are very much in the news today, and so it's not beyond the creator to do something like that, to create something that we don't understand. People never understood about Gabriel. And now, as we have in our modern perspective, we can give a modern interpretation of that particular angel. Now, whether or not other people agree or not, that's up to them, because we don't have those angels to appear in physical, well, usually not in physical form, and tell us a little bit about themselves. But they so we have to gain knowledge of them by reading about them through scripture or through other means, through the prophets or through other folklore about them. So it's fascinating. And Gabriel was the messenger who announced to Mary that she was going to be the mother of God. Now, one of these days we're going to have to do a series of shows on Mary, because Gabriel and Mary had such an interesting relationship. She told him to step back, or to wait until she was finished doing what she was doing. before she would talk to him, before she allowed him to tell her that she was going to be the mother of God. So she's really the first feminist too. But it's a fascinating stories that I look up because I feel like I need to, as a psychic, as a person that is in this particular field. I need to know a little bit about background about some of these things. And I wanted to start out with Gabriel to give you some insight on where we're going here and how we can humanize these angels. So that's the only one I'm going to talk about today, because we just don't have time to get into the other ones because they're also fascinating. They all have stories about them. But before we sign off today, I do want to take a moment to thank our sponsor. I want to thank Miracles of Joy, and be sure to go over there on their website and purchase some stuff off their site, and use that PS0223. And I want you to email me, and if you have a question, book a reading on time online on my website. Be sure to like my Facebook page, and be sure to join me next week when we have our guest, Gail Mull. It's going to be fun. So I appreciate you taking the time to be with me today. Thanks a lot here from the psychic side. I'm your host, John Cappello. Bye-bye.